My biggest issue with the fan culture in football is random player debates. Majority of the time, the comparisons that become very popular don't actually make much sense, and it's just fans trying to push agendas. One player scores, and all of a sudden, it's a competition between fans. One player scores, and everyone's mind automatically jumps to comparing him to another player when that player is not involved at all. I enjoy discussing and thinking about player debates that are created, but constantly comparing players doesn't mean much. My mind focuses on individual players because I have no narratives to push. In this video, I will go over some famous player debates that I can't stand because to me they don't make much sense, but they've become so prominent in the sport. First up is the Messi versus Ronaldo debate. When I think about putting players up against each other, I think it's reasonable to compare two players that are actually similar players, which Ronaldo and Messi are not. For a significant part of their careers, they were completely different, but they got held to the same standards. Ronaldo was primarily a goal scorer, and Messi was both a goal scorer and a playmaker. Ronaldo played on the left or up top, and Messi could be found everywhere on the field. They are fundamentally different players, but they were compared for both scoring a ton of goals, playing in the same league, and playing for direct rivals. This part of the debate I understand, but that makes the footballing side of the debate disingenuous. Messi is clearly a superior footballer than everyone else, but because we as fans have conditioned our minds into thinking Messi versus Ronaldo is a reasonable debate, this has led to pure nonsense being spread around for years. This has led to many fans believing that the World Cup was rigged. This has led to many fans believing that everything is a conspiracy theory and everyone just hates Ronaldo. This has led to many fans creating silly arguments like, well, Ronaldo did it in 3 leagues, like that actually matters at all. I think it's actually unfair to Ronaldo that this debate has become so prominent. He simply can't compete on the footballing side, and he was never meant to. They aren't comparable players. Again, for years, fans pretended that every trophy they won or every goal they scored pushed them further into winning the debate, even though it should have never been a debate in the first place. Another debate that has never made sense to me is the Hazard versus Mo Salah debate. Similar to Messi and Ronaldo, these two are just different players where I can't honestly compare them. Hazard was primarily a left winger, number 10 hybrid, and Mo Salah was primarily a right wing goal scorer. Nothing about their game is really that similar. Hazard was technically incredible. Mo Salah is not necessarily that elite of a technical talent. Hazard was always running at players and was an elite ball carrier and dribbler. Mo Salah doesn't really beat his man and is more of a player that looks to find an inch of space for a shot. Hazard was often a decent goal threat. Mo Salah was one of the best goal threats the Premier League has ever seen. Their skill set, roles, and positions were vastly different to me, and the comparison isn't based on anything footballing related. It's purely based on the fans. The fans pinned these players against each other because they were the main men for their Premier League teams. It's so fascinating when people still bring up the debate now and say Salah's better because he scored more goals. I just cringe and start losing my mind because you can't have an honest debate about these two players because they aren't really that similar. Another debate I want to talk about is the Foden versus Saka debate and the more recent Cole Palmer versus Saka debate. First, let's start with the Foden Saka debate. What even is this debate? Saka is a right winger and Foden is a midfielder. Yes, Foden is a midfielder. Stop calling him a winger. For a couple years, every time Saka scored, Foden gets brought up and vice versa. It's so painful. Let's just pin two English players against one another and call it a debate. What are we debating? Who's a better player? They do completely different things and have different roles. This debate has led into silly hypothetical situations to try to compare them. I remember Mark Goldbridge once saying that he thinks Saka's better than Foden because he would be better if he played for Man City. This isn't based in reality. I understand it's a hypothetical, but it doesn't make much sense. You have no way of answering this hypothetical. If you have to go to these lengths, then maybe the comparison isn't actually reasonable. Then with the Palmer Saka debate, it's pretty similar to the Foden one. Palmer is a number 10 and Saka is a winger. They have different skill sets and responsibilities. I remember a friend asked me once who I think is better, and I had no way of answering. I said that I take Saka as a winger and Palmer as a midfielder because I don't see them as comparable. I don't see the debate. Overall, my mind just doesn't automatically go to comparing players. I don't watch Jeremy Doku score and then start calling him better than Luis Diaz. The football culture online is so much about putting players down while hyping other players up. It's impossible for people to talk about an individual player without bringing up a completely irrelevant player. Again, I understand debating players and I'll participate in these debates, However, this constant comparison of players is a strange way to view the game for me. I just don't view the game through comparison. That will be the end of the video. Please put your thoughts down below in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.